sounds like a good thing, but the article makes it sound like a bad thing. So here's the thing. Lizzie McDonald says if making money makes Santorum look bad, that's not good. Of course, she's a greedy capitalist. She's joined right now by Jonathan Hoenig and a not nearly so greedy David Mercer. Liz, what's your take on this?
Well, my take on this is that the president and nobody should be. Listen, I don't agree with everything that Rick Santorum says, and I know in politics, you open your biography up, you're going to get attacked. But we should be about more wealth and more wealth creation to pay for entitlement state spending and the cylinders of the world that the president thinks he wants to spend money on, and the California rails to nowhere. Is that where we want our tax money to go? But listen, this whole idea that there's one big bucket of government assets and the rich are taking more of their share than they should be is absurd nonsense.
Well, can we stick to the point, Ms. Metzer? The point is, the ad makes it seem evil that he got rich 6 years after leaving.
That's what I'm saying.
You don't have a problem with that.
No, I think it is a problem to depict people who work hard or get paid as being hot,
that's all I know.
evil.
That's all I know. Go ahead, Johnny.
Look at Steve. Look at Steve Jobs, Michael Dell, Bill Gates.
Don't go veering off topic.
No, I'm telling you, they created wealth and they created jobs.
Go ahead, Jonathan.
Liz, Steve Jobs made money by the iPad, Apple. How did Rick Santorum make his money?
So what?
How did he do it?
So what?
Look, he was on the board.
Why is that a point of criticism?
Because, Liz, he made it on the board of a healthcare company. Now, he's not a doctor, to my knowledge. He's not a medical expert. Why was he on the board of a healthcare company? Because he was in Washington. That's the whole point, Liz. Right. It's not an attack.
Well, to that
it's an attack on his pulpit.
All right, Mr. Mercer, I think the point is to differentiate between Steve Jobs and Rick Santorum. By the way, why you have to clarify this, I have no idea. But the issue is that he leveraged, that is, Santorum, his days and years in the Senate to profit quite nicely when he left. Is that wrong?
Well, Michelle Bachmann, as she did with Newt Gingrich, called Newt a crony capitalist. I think that Santorum would fall into that same definition for the very reason that John Hoenig just mentioned. And that's the problem. It's not all this hard work that he puts in.
You're not equating the two. I mean, helping Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae or providing history lessons, I don't know what that argument was.
Exactly.
But you're not equating that with someone who might have just, not through speeches or anything else,
we're not talking about just speeches.
Not helping an organization that itself later was doing criminal things.
Well, you have the healthcare industry, which if you look at his FEC reports from the past, that's where most of his donors come. And as John Hoenig pointed out, that's where he went afterwards.
Okay, fair enough. So in other words, it's just a paler sin.
No,
we're done with you. We're done with you. Go ahead.
Save me from the office saints of the world. I mean, if you took this belief, all the boardrooms would be empty. And maybe that might be a good thing for corporate America. Right. But the point being, what how he made his money? And I get it. Steve Jobs created wealth. Michael Dell created wealth. For that, Michael Dell created. Michael Dell created wealth. Bill Gates created wealth. None of them went to college. Stop attacking those guys as being in the 1%.
All right, first of all, you seem angry.
I'm just
Jonathan, her take on that.
It's not attacking, just bringing up the facts.
Yeah, I get the facts.
Okay, stop it.
Well, you stop it.
All right, you stop it.
No, you, infinity.
No, you to infinity. All right, Jonathan, your take on that.
Well, that I think, to David's point, amazingly, is the problem. When government's involved in deciding things about healthcare, about education, about steel tariffs, which Rick Santorum was also involved in, of course, that opens up the opportunity for using that government influence. I've nothing against people making money,
so you
but when they do it,
you agree with Mr. Mercer?
Go ahead and say it, John. Yes.
It would be hard for me to actually get that out of my mouth, but I disagree with the notion that government should play an intricate role in the economy.
Get the alert ready, guys. Get the alert ready, because we have Jonathan Hoenig. There we go. This just is Jonathan Hoenig agreeing with our, shall we say, left-leaning.
And I'll say it. I agree with Jonathan on this.
I have a headache. This looks like a bad eHarmony commercial.
But the point is to get government out of making those decisions. David, you want to put him very much in the center of that, and unfortunately, Rick Santorum does too.
That's not the case. And the point I'll make is we don't see him talking about the housing problem or foreclosures. Why? Because he doesn't want attention.
No, guys, I think we're all missing the point.
It
takes a dolt like me to see the bigger point.
What is
the bigger
point?
He doesn't want
people knowing that he got a sweetheart deal from the Philadelphia company that he got the mortgage from.
Here's what I'm saying. I'm kidding, but here's what I'm saying. You know what's making this ad and this approach obnoxious? That it's not so much where Santorum got the money. and how he got rich in 6 years. What's making it obnoxious is it's being portrayed as bad simply because he got wealthy. Not the
Neil,
means of which he got
can I respond to that?
But that was your point. If you had only simply said it.
You're absolutely
That's
right.
not the point.
That's what you failed at.
Okay, I'm a failure.
Well,
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Neil, if I might
Neil,
add, okay,
Neil-
the
No,
point
let-
is,
let-
in
let- go ahead.
Pella, Iowa, just in December, Rick Santorum said, I'm for income inequality because it should go to people that work hard and are very smart. What we're finding out is his income is not coming from just him being smart or a hard worker. That's the problem.
No,
and
but
he's
that
creating
wasn't
this myth that he makes all this money from hard work.
I mean,
when in fact it's because of his government role before.
Neil, I guess it doesn't make a difference to you if the CEOs of AIG get wealthy, if the CEOs of General Motors get wealthy, right? Because it doesn't matter where that money comes from, right? I mean, by your own logic, that simply doesn't make
We're
sense.
not talking
No, we're
about
not. But once again,
It
we're not
does.
talking about that. We're talking about a
If
guy.
Rick's-
The approach and the investigation, this whole thing
Let me have
that
a
will
final
become
word.
an ad. It started with an article. Is going to be Rick Santorum got rich after he left the Senate. In other words, with the argument, that the argument was that he's rich and that's evil. That's what I'm saying.
Right, and
that's stupid.
And we need the one
it's rich 'cause he
percenters
was in
because
the
they're
Senate
the
and
wait.
used
We need the one percenters because they're the only crowd that can afford the Chevy Volt and the electric cars.
Yes,
And he makes
blow up
believe
on
it's hard work.
Okay, all right. Well, I think we solved that problem. See you guys a little bit later. And by the way, thanks for talking over one another. We saved a lot of time. All right, we'll
There we
talk
go.
about adding fuel to the vote fire.